Top of the AM. Rich Character clothing line is coming out very, very soon. Very, very soon. Um, Let me see what else we got here. One second. One second. We also got the books. Anybody can be McFly. Be McFly stands for being motivated, comes from loving yourself. So make sure you tap in. So Rich Character clothing line coming soon. You can go on Amazon and order your book. Anybody can be McFly. All right. So top of the bag, man. We got Jay-Z with some allegations. It, it's one of those things where I sit back and I just say, how can you just say a person did the R word to someone 20 years ago? How can you prove that a person did the R word to someone 20 years ago? I don't want to play devil's advocate. I want to play angel's advocate here. 20 years ago it's a long time. Specifics is a long time as well. Like being specific 20 years ago is a long time. Like, how does this work? How do you calculate the steps? How do you put the pieces together? How do you say, yes, you did this to me 20 years ago, excuse me, but I waited for the right time. Now, let's be clear here. It's a lot of things that, that happen to certain people, right? And how can I say it? They waited a little bit. Like it was like one of those things, like for me, I was physically abused before. Not just before, like a lot of times. And I never really told anybody because I felt like nobody was going to care. Nobody was going to believe me, right? So it took a while for me to break that silence. So I do believe that it takes a while for people to break a silence, right? But for a person with Jay-Z status, right? For a person of his stature, his caliber, how do you wait so long to finally accuse this man of doing something like that? And for me, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but for me, it's more like, how do we believe you? How can we actually believe you? How do we sit back and say 20 years ago, right? This billionaire from Marcy Projects did this to me and I was only 13. Now, people were speaking things about like, what's the difference between Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, and R. Kelly? Well, R. Kelly has tapes. I remember being in college and the tape and the DVD or whatever it was, the DVD circulated. It was R. Kelly up there doing something with a minor. You seen it. So R. Kelly is eliminated. Like, I mean, well, he's not eliminated, but he's been caught. Now, as far as Diddy is concerned, I don't know what Diddy. I can't. It's no physical evidence that we've seen with the naked eye to say Diddy was out here doing something. Yes, the FBI have their evidence. You have allegations, right? And even with the allegations, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm not saying that. I do believe that Diddy done a lot. I do believe that. I do believe that. I believe he has done some things. Yes. But I can't pinpoint certain things that he has done. But if you want me to test my hypothesis, I would tell you, yeah, I believe he done a couple things. Now, what we seen on TV, what we seen on the internet is, yes, he has put his hands on a woman. We know that. We do know that he has treated certain people effed up with their deals, like the Locks. We see how he treated the Locks. We see how he treated who else? Who else? What was that group called again? Making a Band. We see how he treated them. We heard the stories throughout the industry. We heard the stories. We heard certain things go down. But there has been no concrete evidence. I'm talking about amongst the viewer, me. I'm gonna just keep it on the eye. I have seen no evidence of this man doing the R word, holding people hostage, keeping them in secluded areas, making them do things that they don't want to do. I haven't seen that yet. So I'm not going to sit up here and say, yeah, you did it. Now, again, what an adult do on their adult time, that's adult activities, without making a person do something on their own, that's on them. If he's on the other side of the fence, that's on him. If he want to come back to the other side of the fence, that's on him. If he's playing both sides of the fence, that's on him. As long as it's legal, that is on him. Now, see, when you know that you can't buy, you're not supposed to pay for sex in certain places. I believe you could go to Vegas and pay for sex. The minute you start calling people across state lines, that is considered human trafficking. It's considered human trafficking. And when we think of the phrase human trafficking, right? That's a strong phrase. It's a powerful phrase. Human trafficking. Whoa, what is going on? What are you doing? It's simply saying, oh, we from LA. We love it. If the girls are like, yeah, we from LA, we would love to come over there and party with y'all and have, SCX with y'all and do whatever y'all want to get into, we want to do it. All right. So now you call the people that got the connect, yo, bring them over here right now. It's up how much it costs to get them over here. Now you saying, damn, what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. These are adults. I'm an adult. They want to have fun. I called them up. I paid for their flight. They're over here. If you paid for them, if you paid them to have sex with you, that's a part of human trafficking. Because you're not supposed to do that. And look how minute this sounds. So you mean to tell me I cannot, if it's a girl that I know, even if I know her, and it's like, yo, I want to, what's the hood terminology? I want to trick off. You can't do that because the minute that these allegations come up, you're done. You're done. You're going to get hit with all types of criminal charges, and human trafficking is one. Now, I remember when Akon got caught up in something like this, right? Underage, he was allegedly dealing with an underage woman, right? So Akon said, hold up, let's be clear here. I met I met this woman inside of can y'all hear me? I met this woman inside the club. I met this woman inside the club. How am I charged? I met this woman inside the club. How am I even charged when she got in the club? How am I charged when she got in the club? And that's how he beat the case. And see, this is what be happening. A lot of these young girls sneak their way in certain places, right? A lot of these bouncers, they go hard body on a guy, right? And make them pay, $150 to get in, and then you got to pay an extra fee, which is the regular fee to actually get in. And then when they see these young girls be 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old, right? And, some young people look older than what they are. And it's like, okay, what they say, turning in from Cincinnati. What up, bro? Shout out to Cincinnati, man. Mr. Keith, man, was goody. So when these young girls is getting into these clubs, it's like, yo, if I'm hollering at a girl in the club and I ain't know she was underage, my question is, how did she get in? And this is how Akon beat the case. Now, from my understanding, and before I get started, right, I come from an era where older guys were dealing with younger women. So do I believe that all of these guys has possibly done it? Some of them, yeah. A girl 16, 17 years old and you 21 years old. You are considered an adult. That kid that's 16 years old is considered a minor. And let's take it a step further. I've seen this all the time. And I used to be jealous of it. Like, damn, bro, why are you coming up to the school grabbing our women? Why are you grabbing our women, bro? Let us get the girls. I'm in high school. She in high school. Why you got to pull up in your Lex or pull up in your Benz, pull up in your BMW, right? Shitting on us. Little high school kids. You 21 years old. Shorty 15, 16 years old, 17 years old. Give it a break. Let us have these girls until they graduate from high school. Then you can have them. It has always been older guys pulling up to the schools hollering at the young girls. And nobody was saying nothing. Have I done it? Hell no. This is on record. I have never done it. And I would never do it. Because I thought it was corny. I despise those kind of guys. 21, 22, 23-year-olds coming up to the high school, picking the high school girls up. They 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. Then let's take it a step further. I used to tell my son, I got two sons. My son used to, at the time he was 15, my oldest son, 15 years old. I used to tell him, yo, little Brandon, be wise of these girls that's in high school. They are having sex with guys that are 30 years old, 40 years old. You better be careful because that's a real thing. There are guys out here that are 40 years old, 30 years old, having sexual relations with girls that are 14, 15, 16, 17 years old. And I want to take it a step further. I used to talk to this one girl, right? And at the time, that was her stepdaughter. I mean, well, not at the time, but it was a time where the girl was her stepdaughter. Her stepdaughter was 14 years old. She was talking to or having relations, having sexual relations with someone that was 32 years old. Now, this is the kicker here. The 14-year-old used to write in her diary about things that was going on. How she loved this man. This man cares for me. He doesn't make me do things that I don't want to do. She used to write in the diary. People would never understand. This is a real thing, right? And at 14 years old, dealing with someone that's 32, it's like, how do you feel comfortable saying that everything is okay? And that's why they wouldn't call that the R word. It wouldn't be considered the R word. It would be statutory. It would be, let me get rid of some of these people. Sorry, y'all. My fault. Let me get rid of some of these people. So yeah. So yeah, you have to be mindful. All right, shout out Leon Zion. Yo, shout out to you, man. So you gotta be mindful of what's going on here because you got some young girls that's like, yo, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Yeah, I'm 14, he's 30. I don't see nothing wrong with it. At all. I don't see nothing wrong with it at all. And that's sad because you're manipulating these young girls. When people said Foxy Brown was like, no, that could never happen. It would never, ever, ever happen, or whatever the case may be. I'm like, hold up. Because she had been manipulated and saying that, like, don't say nothing. Remember the movie Belly? And remember when DMX was messing with the young girl? And she was like, well, we never did nothing, but I do give him fellatio. I just want to use the word fellatio. I do give him top. And I'm like, yo, this is a real thing. This is real. These are the things that be going on in the neighborhoods. How do you not feel like these things don't go on? These young girls are actually out here doing things with older men. Facts. And they're acting like nothing never happened. They are, nope, I'm lying. I'm not going to tell nobody what's going on. I'm going to always lie. So back to Jay-Z. Do I believe that Jay-Z did something with a 13-year-old girl in 2000. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Do I believe Jay-Z probably did something with Foxy Brown? Yes. Yeah. Yep. How old is Foxy Brown? Foxy Brown probably like what? 44 or something like that? How old is Jay-Z? Jay-Z like what, 53? How old was Foxy Brown? How old is Foxy Brown? How old is Foxy Brown? And how old was she in 1996? How old was Foxy Brown in 1996? Even Nas said, Foxy got you high because you kept your face in a puss. What you think you getting girls now because of your looks? Again, this is not implicating that Nas said that. Well, it is implicating, but I believe at that time, yes. Now, in 2000, Jay-Z going after a 13-year-old, no, not at all. If Foxy Brown was 16, 17, 18, then if she was 16, 17, Jay-Z, if Foxy Brown was like 16, 17, Jay-Z had to have been about 20, 28 or something like that. I believe shit was going on. I believe shit was going on. Yep. If you want my honest truth, I believe things was going on. Because again, a lot of guys were doing that back in the day. When I was in high school, a lot of guys were hollering at girls that were in high school. Yes. 25-year-old guys come, I'm talking about like literally pulling up to the school, picking the young girl up. Whether she was in the 12th grade, 11th grade, 10th grade, 9th grade, she was in high school. These guys, I think the oldest, 25 years old. I can't speak on like 30-year-olds, but I know about 25-year-olds, like guys that were like 25, 24, 23, 21, 22. They were picking them young girls up. Now, we could go as far as a guy being 18 years old messing with a 13-year-old. That happens too. Because the reality is this. I don't know where you guys are from, but where I'm from, they were having sex in the 6th grade. They were having sex in the 7th grade. They were having sex in the 8th grade. And that's the 11, 12, that's the 11, 12, 13th mark, 13-year-old mark. They were out there having sex in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Who taught them how to have sex? I don't know. Were some of these kids forced to have sex? Possibly. Were some of these people practicing on each other? Yes, possibly. But let's not get this confused. The law says one thing, but the people are doing something totally different. In my community, kids are having sex at a high rate. The rate is astronomical. You, listen, kids at 13 years old are selling drugs. You got somebody pulling up. You got Onk. You got Onk in the community selling. Kids are taking drugs. So you got Onk in the community giving them little stuff here and there, making them do little stuff here and there. See, we look at the average 13-year-old from the hood. I'm not talking about the 13-year-old that grew up in a good environment or the 13-year-old that grew up in a house where it was homely. We talking about the 13. My mother had an abortion at 13. What, I gotta put that in the subtitles or something? My mother had an abortion at 13, had me at 15. Let's not get this confused. Again, I'm not saying that it's right because it's not right. I'm not running around doing that with no 13, 14. I don't care how much, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't care how experienced you may be. I'm not doing it. But let's stop looking at these numbers as if you don't come from where I come from. And if you don't, congratulations. But it's things that's going on inside the house, outside the house. Kids are taking drugs, they on pills, they smoking weed. Kids are vulnerable because they want what they want. My dad not around, my mom not around, she at work. Or my mom is worrying about her boyfriend. Or her boyfriend is doing something to me. Boy and girl. And you are afraid to say something. Or how about you may like it? See, these are the conversations that people don't want to have. You got some older people that feel like, well, if you go to Africa, if you go to some other third world countries, 14 is an adult. 13 is an adult. You don't know. And this is why certain people get away with being a petty. This is why they don't. You can be a petty and get 10 years probation. And sell weed and sell pounds and pounds of weed and get 30 years in the federal penitentiary. You want to know why? Because the higher ups is doing it. Whoa, let's speak to the higher ups now. I got sinuses, man. The higher ups be doing it. So again, back to the Jay-Z and the Diddy thing, right? It's a lot of allegations that's going on with both of them, right? And I can say to myself that I don't believe a lot of them, but I do believe some of them. Do I think Jay-Z did this? No. Do I think Jay-Z has hollered at an underage girl like Foxy Brown? Yes, I do. Was Jay-Z in his 20s? Yes. Mid 20s? Yes. Can anybody tell me how old is Foxy Brown? How old is Jay-Z in the chat? And how old was Foxy Brown in 96? So honestly, at the end of the day, I'm from layman's terms. These things are happening. This is a real deal. Yes, he did. He went from Aaliyah at 15 and Beyonce at 17 and Foxy at 15. Trust me. Don't think for 1 second, yo, trust me. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't think he was a part of that 13-year-old thing. But I do think he, he touched on Foxy. Whether he touched on her or she touched on him, it's still wrong. Now, I was thinking about Jay-Z, right? And I was like, why people are not stepping up? Jay-Z is supposed to be the God MC. He's supposed to be the hierarchy of the hip hop world. He's the mogul. He's the billionaire. The billionaire that came from Marcy. The billionaire that didn't have a father. The billionaire that lived in the projects, Marcy projects. The billionaire that came from the struggle. It's rare that you see billionaires coming from a struggle. Why ain't nobody having protest? Why ain't nobody protesting for Jay-Z? Why ain't nobody stepping up to the plate for Jay-Z? Why ain't nobody screaming out loud and saying, no way, Jay-Z is innocent. It's no way. I don't know how old you are, but do you understand what Jay-Z did to the game? Especially after Biggie Smalls and Tupac passed away? Why people are not screaming and fighting for Jay-Z? Well, what did Jay-Z do to people? Imagine a good person getting hit with allegations and people don't step up and fight for that good person. Think past your height or the message gonna go over your head. Think past your height or the message gonna go over your head. Imagine people not fighting for a good person. Why NFL players, basketball players, LeBron James, old rappers, new rappers, the community, the community that love hip hop. Why they not fighting for? Why they not fighting for Jay-Z? And in my opinion, It's, oh yeah, Memphis Bleak is quiet. Memphis Bleak quiet. And in my opinion, it's not because he did that allegation in particular. It's because he's an effed up individual. He's an effed up individual. Because who's not fighting for a good person? Look at Diddy. Nobody was fighting for him. I mean, you had your little, and even with Jay-Z, you got your little, eh, you got your people here and there. But for the most part, French Montana, he wasn't fighting for Diddy. Noriega, the Drink Champs, wasn't fighting for Diddy. The only people that was really, really fighting for Diddy, and I'm talking about besides miscellaneous rappers like Little Boozy and all, was his children. Was his children. To the point where they ready to start putting hands on people. This is exactly why I wrote this book. Anybody can be McFly. Be McFly stands for being motivated comes from loving yourself. The reason why I wrote this children's book, to stay away from the nonsense, to stay away from the drugs, to stay away from the manipulation, to stay away from the users and abusers, to go after your dreams, to chase your diamond. That's why I wrote this book. The richest place in the world is the grave. Because so many people have died with $1 trillion idea, died with $1 trillion talents, and never got a chance to flourish. Where do diamonds come from? They come from the dirt. So that diamond was actually walking around and never got a chance to flourish, never got a chance to shine, and it went back into the dirt. Anybody can be McFly, man. Love yourself, man. Being motivated comes from loving yourself within. So, I say all that to say this. You guys were the gatekeepers of the community, the hip-hop community, the entertainment community. You were, what's better than one Billy? Two Billies. Remember that? What is better than one Billy? Two Billies. Imagine if Jay-Z and Puff Daddy say, let's create an alliance. We got Jay-Z as considered, I'm not in my eyes. Nas is the greatest rapper of all time. But Jay-Z is considered the greatest rapper of all time, contrary to population. You got Puff Daddy, who's considered the greatest, I guess, executive, producer, owner, hip-hop owner. I don't, hip-hop owner, label, whatever. You got LeBron James. He's a billionaire. He's considered, and not in my eyes, but the greatest basketball player of all time. And let's see. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Let's say Kanye West. Imagine if those four guys came together and created what's needed in the community. And what I mean by that is this: black power, black owned, black everything, black excellence. We got our own basketball association. We're gonna create this entertainment world where everybody's gonna be able to make money because we are the money. We black people are the money. We control everything in the world. We just don't get paid for it. Black men alone are the most influential people in this world. Nobody has created the trend more than us. And this is why, you want to know why they can go after our people? Because they know that those people don't care about us. See, Jay-Z, you've been manipulated, sir. Diddy, you've been manipulated. No $1 billion, $2 billion, nothing is bigger than the program. There is nothing that you can have, no asset, no money, liquid cash, no plaques, no award. Nothing is bigger than the program. Nothing. And when you realize that nothing is bigger than the program, you're going to start doing what you got to do for your own people. Y'all owe Cat Williams an apology. Y'all owe Cat Williams an apology. See, it's people like Cat Williams, right? People like Kanye West. People like Kyrie Irving. People like me. People like you. They're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Actually got a spine. Can actually stand firm. Stand on your own 10 and be a legend in your own skin. And really believe. It's no need to go against your people. You're suffering from post-traumatic slave disorder. You get to the top and then you forget about your own people. Because trust me, if Diddy and Jay-Z never forgot about their own people, people will be fighting for them. When Diddy got locked up, everybody would have been down there and down in wherever he got locked up at in New York, fighting. Free Sean, free Puffy, free Diddy, free Sean Combs. They would have been out there saying he's innocent. They would have been fighting for him. If Jay-Z treated everybody right, they would have been fighting for Jay-Z. It's obvious why people are not fighting. It's obvious. These guys treated people effed up. And when you don't have the guts, when you don't have, okay, yes, look at Sean's situation. When you don't have the guts, when you don't have the courage, when you're saving face, when you're trying to, uh, uh, what in layman's terms, pickle ride, because that's what a pickle eater do. A pickle eater would sit around and have these ill feelings, but don't want to say nothing because they might get the opportunity. They might get the tag, you're it. They might get a little bag. They might get something out of the deal. They feel the way that you feel, right? But they pickle eat. They pickle ride. So I'm gonna stick around and pickle. I'm gonna stick around and pickle ride just in case I get something out of the deal. And then when something like this happens, now you sit up there and say, well, I ain't getting nothing out of the deal, so that's on him. I ain't fighting for Diddy. I'm not fighting for Jay-Z. All the times I asked, all the times I tried, all the times, it's people that was under Jay-Z, it's people that was around Jay-Z, it's people that had issues with Jay-Z, but never said nothing because they wanted to keep it, they wanted to save face. They are happy Jay-Z is going through this right now. Because if that was my man, if that was my friend, my business partner, I would have been fighting for Jay-Z. I would have been fighting for Diddy. Come on. Once those higher ups seen that those people don't care about their own people, which is, let me see something. Once those people, the higher ups, realize that they don't care about their own people, oh, we just waiting for the best chance to get them. We just waiting. We are waiting for the and this was the perfect timing. Jay-Z, you now see when people say, you know, I'm not gonna lie. I seen Diddy do more for black people than Jay-Z, for sure. I'm not saying Jay-Z has never done anything. But what I will say is I've seen Diddy do more for black people than Jay-Z, for sure. I don't want to hear about, oh, well, you don't know what's happening behind closed doors. No, I want to see what's happening in front of the doors. I want to see what's happening in front of the doors. And yes, I've seen Diddy do more for the black community than Jay-Z. However, all this bare minimum shit has to stop. So who's ever going to be the next up in the entertainment world, this is the time to stick together now. Now is really the time to stick together. Imagine if you would have had people on your side watching your back and you're not treating them effed up. Now, this is not to say yo, I treated everybody good and still lost at the end. I mean, look at MC Hammer. He treated everybody good and still lost at the end. So I'm not saying be a fool. I'm saying be wise with your money. Be wise. You still got to have a sense of urgency. You still got to have integrity. You still got to stand firm. You can't let people play you. You can't let people play with you. You can't let people use you. You can't let people misuse you. You can utilize me all day, but I'm not going to let you use me and misuse me. But utilize me. You got to put your foot down sometimes. And putting your foot down, sometimes people may not like that. However, you can still do what's right for your own people. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that. You heard what Jay-Z said. I'm raping Def Jam till I'm the 100th million man. You know what he had to do that? He had to step on toes, throw people under the bus, use people, take from people. That don't make you the nastiest person in the world, but you're rich. You're just not rich in character. That's why I created this clothing line called Rich Character. That's why I created the clothing line called Rich Character. Because you may have more money than me, liquid cash or assets, but you don't have rich character. And when you have rich character, people will stand for you. So you did what you had to do to get to the top. I always say this, everybody's not lying about these individuals. You hear the stories and you hear the stories. Dame Dash, and then you got Jay-Z Friend, and then you hear stories from State Property. You hear stories from Dipset like Camera. You hear stories from LL. You hear a lot of stories. Everybody's not lying. Now, it may be some lies to the truth. That's a real thing. People add lies to the truth all day. Yeah, you know, I did this for Jay-Z and he never returned the favor. But what did you do for him? I gave him $100,000. You might have gave him $10,000, but like giving him $100,000 is adding lies to the truth. And that's just a scenario. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Much digger. Yeah. Yeah, you can stretch the story and make it sound good. But it's a reason why people are not fighting and not standing firm with Diddy and Jay-Z. It's a reason why Jay-Z didn't stand firm with Diddy. When we were doing all these brunches, Kevin Hart, where you at? Where is everybody at when it was time to do when it was the Rock Nation brunch? Where is everybody at now? Where is everybody at? Where you at, Prince James? Where are you? Better hope the allegations don't come up next on him. Now, see, I'm going to say this. The difference between Jay-Z, Diddy, and LeBron James. LeBron James is a very nice guy. LeBron James is a very nice guy. It's hard to say something bad about LeBron James. Like, unlike Diddy and Jay-Z, LeBron You have never heard anything about LeBron friendships messing up. I mean, he's been he's just a great guy. LeBron is a great guy. If anything was to happen to LeBron, people are going to get out there and really like fight for LeBron. I guarantee you. People will fight for LeBron. LeBron has been damn near perfect throughout his whole NBA career. On the outside of NBA. Since he entered the league in 2003, LeBron just been this kid from Akron, poor kid from Akron, mother on drugs, doesn't know his father. No, nobody's perfect at all. What I'm saying is the life outside of basketball, he has no issues. Well, so far, so good. There has been no allegations of him cheating on his wife. He's very in tune with the black community. He has all his friends from when he was a kid. As a matter of fact, all of his friends are his business partners. He put all of his friends in positions. He's very liked with all his basketball co-workers. He's very in tune to the black community. If I didn't say that, I'm going to say that again. LeBron James is very in tune with the black community. I'm talking about doing whatever it takes. He can do more. Like him and Diddy is like here and here when it comes down to the black community. It's still all bare minimum, but I'm gonna play angel's advocate. It's something. It's a lot more than what a lot of these guys are billionaires. I can say they've done a lot. They've done a lot. So if LeBron James, God forbid, if LeBron James get hit with these allegations, guess what's going to happen? The people are going to go out there, be online, be in front of this, be in front of that, and fight for LeBron James. That's what they're going to do. Because LeBron James is a very, very good guy. He's a lovable guy. He's a likable guy. People really do love LeBron. Now, look at the people that's not loved. Because how they treated their own people. And nobody's stepping up saying anything. Remember Tiger Woods when he went through what he went through? You want to know why nobody stepped up for Tiger Woods? Do you really want to know why? Because Tiger Woods was running around saying he wasn't black. And every time you turned around, an allegation stepped up. Yeah, he did it to me. 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 And guess, and all of the he did it to me's, all of he did it to me's were the snow bunnies. All of the snow bunnies stepped up and said, yeah, he did it to me. And nobody stepped up and looked out for him. And I'm talking about big figures here. I'm talking about the big figures. No disrespect to the small guys that have been through stuff, but we talking about billionaires. The Tiger Woods, the Puffies, The Hovers. Cat Williams definitely he started it off and he told everybody, y'all owe Cat Williams an apology. Y'all owe Kanye West an apology. And again, this is not to say that Jay-Z did it. Remember what I said earlier. I don't believe Jay-Z did that. I just don't believe he has rich character. So that's my take on it, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Subscribe, follow, share, all of that. My book, Anybody Can Be McFly. Man, my children's book, man. Please support me, y'all. Support me, man. I'm really out here in the communities saving lives. I'm really out here in the communities taking people to drug rehabs, helping them out with their drug addiction, spreading awareness on drug addiction, man. I'm really out here. I'm not begging. I'm not borrowing. I'm really putting the work in. And if we could give these guys that don't care about us money, why can't you give the guys that do care about us money to help them push forward? Because when I'm taking somebody to rehab, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm using my own cash, my own resources to get them there. When I'm saving lives, ain't nobody paying for that. I'm putting my own life in danger. I'm really doing what I gotta do, man. Doing what I gotta do to save the community. I'm making sure this is not no hoax. This is not no phony stuff. I'm not running around here acting like this is not one of those news media where I want to just talk about everything that's going on and I make money off of just streaming. No. This is real life. This is real life here. I wrote this book, man, to save the kids because it's different ways of saving the kids. It's different ways of saving the community. When you look at the military, it's different levels of the military. You got the Navy, you got the Army, you got the submarines, you got all types of levels. You can't just go out there and fight in the same level. It's not going to work. So what I do is spread awareness as much as possible. You got to go out there and do what you got to do. And I'm one of the ones that's doing what I got to do, man. If you go on, I damn near died for this, man. Fox News and CNN said this was assassination attempt. Because people believe that I went against the agenda trying to save people. Man, I'm here for a reason, man. Get in tune, get activated. Like, share, comment, subscribe, man. And help me push this narrative, man. B McFly, top motivator in the world, and your sober messenger. Let's go.